right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Milder air tomorrow. I'm timing out showers arriving just in time for the weekend.
This home explosion happened 10 months ago, but neighbors still can't go home.
It looks like this just happened.
The I-Team with a warning for you about homeowners insurance. But first tonight, a double murder in a quiet suburb. One victim crashing his truck into the garage after being shot in the head. Now a father is forced to bury his only son.
I just hope they catch him.
The possible clues police need from the community.
Tonight, investigators in Franklin County are pleading to the public for help after a young couple is shot and killed. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The shooting happened last night on Spring Valley Road. That's in Pacific. Hours ago, our Robert Townsend spoke with the father of one of the victims.
It's just hard to deal with.
You can see the pain in Ronald Klein Sr.'s eyes and hear it in his voice.
It just ruins lives, something terrible.
The Franklin County dad cannot believe his only son, 39-year-old Ronald Klein Jr., and Ron's girlfriend, 34-year-old Leslie Barstow, are both now gone.
It's killing me. I love that kid.
Klein says around 7:30 Wednesday night he heard lots of commotion. He then dashed outside his rural home and saw Ron in his truck.
He come flying up here and bounced off my car there.
He says his son then crashed his truck into their garage. The frantic father opened the driver's side door and saw Ron had been shot in his head.
And my son was laying face down, and I raised him up. I tried to do mouth to mouth.
But Ron died. His girlfriend, also shot, later passed away at a hospital.
I opened the door where she was at, and she was moaning and crying.
Leslie had a 14-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. Ron Jr. worked at a sprinkling company. The couple lived with Ron's dad for the last 5 years.
He was worried about something. Somebody was after him, but he never would tell me who.
Klein says his son often carried large amounts of money on him. He believes the killer also stole $20,000 Ron had.
It was deliberately done. I don't know if it was for the backpack and all the stuff he had in it, or had a grudge or what, I don't know.
Klein says by the time he ran outside, the shooter sped out of his driveway, down this dirt road, and got away.
I just hope they catch him.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Klein says he told detectives the shooter took off in a white car. Investigators have not released any new details. If you have any information, call the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
Just a couple of hours ago, we learned when students at Central Visual and Performing Arts will return to their school building. They haven't been back since a gunman entered the South City School on October 24th and killed a teacher and a student. 7 others were hurt in that attack. Tonight, St. Louis Public Schools announced in-person classes are scheduled to resume on Tuesday, January 17th. Students have been learning virtually since mid-November as repairs were made to the school.
Tonight, a 23-year-old St. Louis man awaits federal sentencing after admitting to shooting and killing a bank security guard during a robbery. Jalen Quinn pled guilty this week. The shooting happened in August 2021 at the First Bank, located across the street from East St. Louis City Hall. 56-year-old Ted Horn, who worked as a security guard, was killed during the robbery. Another man, 21-year-old Andrew Brinkley, also faces charges in the robbery. He will be in court next week.
A live look now at the U.S. Capitol tonight, where a standoff in the U.S. House continues. Just hours ago, the lower chamber adjourned for the 3rd straight day without a House Speaker. A group of 20 Republicans continue to block party leader Kevin McCarthy from taking the Speaker's gavel, even after he agreed to concessions and offered the holdouts prime committee seats. There have been 11 ballots so far. Until they pick a Speaker, the Republican-controlled House cannot vote on any other business for the American people. Tonight, some Democratic lawmakers who represent Illinois and Missouri are frustrated they aren't able to get to work.
That includes a newly elected leader from Illinois who is at the U.S. Capitol for the first time as a congresswoman. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon joins us with a closer look. Brent?
Well, Representative Nikki Baczynski has a message for Congress. Put your differences aside so that Republicans and Democrats can get to work. I also caught up with a local professor who is helping put into perspective what's happening here.
I don't pick the day. I'm confident we'll get to the solution. Otherwise, we won't be successful.
Representative Kevin McCarthy is holding on to hope he'll secure the vote for Speaker of the House. But Wednesday night, lawmakers making history by not agreeing on a speaker this far into the session.
After all, we've had 11 rounds of voting as of now, and he's gone 0 for 11 when it comes right down to it.
It comes down to 20 Republicans who refuse to push McCarthy to the top.
There are some members of Congress that are Republicans that I think hold the mantle of people like Abraham Lincoln, and there are some that aren't. And I think these 20 out there that are doing their best to tear down government, and frankly, some of those have been trying to tear down government since they've been in Congress, is not a great example of Lincoln Republicanism, a guy who fought to preserve it.
Meantime, some Democratic lawmakers feel
frustration, yes.
Congresswoman-elect Nikki Buzinski of Illinois is beginning her first term, but she can't be sworn in until there's a speaker.
I'm here with my Bible. I am ready to go as soon as they call me to the floor.
If this goes on for a really long time, the question that is somewhat being raised, but will get raised much more clearly, is if the Republican majority can't even pick a speaker, how are they going to be able to tackle some of the other issues that need to be addressed?
We've heard for 2 years, at least I know I have, for 2 years, that when we take over, we're going to govern. When we take over, we're going to show the Republicans, the Democrats how to lead. We're going to take care of the people. Well, that's not what's happening right now. They're not taking care of the people. They're not governing.
So how many more times will lawmakers vote? Dr. Moffitt says members of Congress must keep voting until the speaker is selected, however many times that may be.
Brent, thank you. Our Verified team's watching the House Speaker standoff closely. Here's Brandon Lewis with an answer to one of the many questions they've received. Does the speaker have to come from the majority?
Verify here with your Fast Fact. At the start of each Congress, House representatives cast their votes to determine who becomes Speaker. The person who receives more than 50% of the votes is elected, but some online are wondering whether that person also has to be from the party who holds the majority of the House. So, let's verify. Does the Speaker of the House have to be from the party that holds the majority? These are our sources. The U.S. Constitution says the House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers, and that's all it says. It makes no mention of the Speaker having to be from the majority party of the House, although they historically have been. So, no, the Speaker of the House does not have to be from the majority party. In fact, the Speaker doesn't even have to be a member of the House. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and even Colin Powell have received votes for the position. With your Fast Fact, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What can we verify for you? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com.
Tonight, a warning about semi-automatic weapons flooding into the St. Louis region. Today, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms gave a live demonstration of an illegal gun modification known as a Glock or lightning switch. The device turns semi-automatic weapons fully automatic. Interim St. Louis Police Chief Michael Sachs says officers are confiscating more modified handguns.
You may not be accurate, but instead of hitting them 2 or 3 times, you might hit them 12 times. These things are dangerous to our officers because of the rate of fire of these weapons. They're also dangerous to everybody in the neighborhood because of their inaccuracy.
Prosecutors say anyone caught with one of these switches is looking at a minimum 30-year prison sentence. If you know of any in your neighborhood, you're urged to call police or the ATF. A new mental health clinic just opened in St. Charles at a time when the demand for therapy is at a record high.
It can now take weeks, even months, to be seen by a mental health professional. New tonight, our Laura Barczewski spoke with the organization hoping to expand its outreach.
Mike and Ann, Ellie Mental Health says there is a very big need for mental health care facilities in our area and across the country. They hope by eventually having 3 locations, more people will have access.
There's 1.8 million Missourians that honestly don't have access to mental health care professionals.
Ellie Mental Health St. Charles owner Andrew Stevenson says the pandemic only increased the demand for therapy, and it continues to be very strong.
We still continue to see that because, believe it or not, there were a lot of challenges in terms of just coping mechanisms and skills that the pandemic had actually caused.
Clinic Director Kristen Abel says long wait lists to see a mental health professional can cause even bigger problems down the road.
Ultimately, what I've seen happen working in some of those higher levels of care is we're missing that for so long that some of these problems get exacerbated and they get bigger, and we can sometimes run into issues where even up to incarceration happens.
Affordability is another barrier they're trying to break down.
We are working right now to offer a bit of a flat rate scale, which allows folks to come in and be seen, especially for those who maybe were not currently contracted with their insurance carrier at this point, or that's still in the processing phase. But we do believe that we would like to make sure that everyone has access to care, and making sure that this is not something that is only for those who have insurance.
All while taking away the stigma surrounding getting help.
That's one of our goals in terms of our differentiated care, is to create a space that's warm and welcoming and comfortable for people to open up, because we realize that getting care can be scary.
They say in addition to in-person sessions, they'll be able to provide virtual sessions as well. Those second locations are coming to St. Charles very soon.
Tonight, Project 5 and Behavioral Health Response are teaming up to provide you mental health counseling. If you or anyone you know needs mental health support, it's available right now for free. Just call 314-469-6644 to speak to a trained counselor until 10:30 tonight.
An explosion rocked their neighborhood 10 months ago. Tonight, they're still out of their home.
It's a kind of a nightmare.
They called the I-Team claiming they're not getting the help they need. They're warning for all homeowners. You won the game of life. The response doctors gave Buffalo Bills safety Demar Hamlin after he emerged from a medically induced coma.
A milder start to your weekend. I'll let you know when you'll have to dodge some rain showers and who may see a winter mix or even snow showers.
An OFallon, Missouri family is desperate for help after a gas explosion last year kicked them out of their home.
They say companies that should be helping them are actually passing the buck. The I-Team's Paula Vassan speaks to them exclusively about where things stand and what you need to know about your own insurance.
This was the blast after contractors hit a natural gas line in OFallon, Missouri. They were installing fiber optic cable.
We warned them that they would probably hit a gas line, but they didn't care.
And this is a federal safety report into the company that hired those workers, JDK General Contractor. It shows contractors followed the rules, digging in areas marked safe by the gas company. That gas company, Spire, tells the I-Team areas to dig were marked correctly.
I'm just angry that nothing's getting done.
There were no major injuries, but Chris Stout is hurting. She lived next door to the explosion, which damaged her house too. 10 months later, she still can't go home.
The blast went through the house.
She believes no one is taking responsibility.
It looks like this just happened.
Yeah, and they just started today cleaning that up.
She moved here 20 years ago to raise her family.
My youngest was 4 years old. My oldest was 7. Everything they've learned, they've done here.
Her home, once filled with happy memories, is now a money pit. Stout says it needs about $400,000 in repairs.
We've got cracks in the foundation. We've got cracks in the walls. We've got roof damage up here. We don't know how much damage is behind the drywall.
The Stouts did have insurance, but with depreciation of their home's original value, the insurance company is offering a little over $60,000. It's too little.
It's a kind of a nightmare. I mean, the expense to have a rental house plus pay this payment in the rental house is twice the payment of this.
But she can't just walk away.
We have too much money in it. Too much money to just let it go.
These homes weren't the only ones damaged by the explosion. Neighbors here say more than 40 homes have been impacted, some as far as a mile away.
What do you want city officials to be doing that they're not doing?
I think they need to monitor and make sure that these people are trained. They need to make sure that they have enough insurance, because the company that hit this gas line only had $1 million in insurance.
Neighbors say that money will likely go to the family whose home exploded. They sold their lot and moved on, while homeowners like the Stouts are stuck fighting it out in court.
Those court battles aren't cheap. It's draining the Strouts of their retirement savings. The big takeaway here is to know what your insurance covers. Does it pay the actual cash value or the current replacement cost? Head to this story on ksdk.com where I break it down even more. For the I-Team, I'm Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
Hope tonight for Buffalo Bills safety Demar Hamlin. His doctors say he's making a remarkable recovery. The 24-year-old is now awake for the first time since suffering cardiac arrest during Monday night's game. He remains in critical condition, but showing good signs of good neurological recovery. He's even communicating using pen and paper.
He was able to emerge and follow commands and even ask who had won the game. When he asked, did we win? The answer is yes. Demar, you won. You've won the game of life.
Monday night's game between the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals was postponed after Hamlin collapsed. And today, the NFL announced the game will not be made up despite playoff seeding implications.
More than 17,000 Catholics from around the country are in St. Louis this week. The Seek 23 conference. It's happening at America Center. It's hosted by the Fellowship of Catholic University Students. The goal? Inspire parishioners, evangelize others, and attract college students. The conference comes as the Archdiocese of St. Louis is restructuring parishes and schools to address declining numbers.
The vision of All Things New has been evangelization from the get-go. And there's been a lot of negative, critical rhetoric regarding, well, how do we evangelize if we're closing parishes, which is certainly a part of what we're doing.
This is the first time St. Louis has hosted the conference. Organizers say attendance is higher than it's ever been before. Scott is off tonight. We are lucky to have meteorologist Jim Castillo joining us now with the weather first forecast.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, right? Did you enjoy today? You thought it was a little cool.
It was
chilly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Monday was it Monday? Was it Tuesday that was so warm?
Yeah.
It all blends
I have to
together.
look too. No,
but I
I
liked
get it.
the warm day.
Yeah, it was 72 earlier this week,
Right.
and that's
It's
why
my
today,
kinda-
today felt so cool.
That's your kind of January,
It is.
72.
Yep, love it.
All right, the high today, hey, it was midnight last night of 42, but during the day it was more. We finally popped to 40 at one point. 37 for the overnight low and 0 on that precip. Wanted to point this out. Wouldn't want to be here, 1884. It was 22 below 0 for that record low. Yeah, so we're not seeing anything like that in the future, and at least in the 10-day forecast here. 34 degrees right now, and it feels like 28 with that west wind. It is dying down at 7 miles an hour. So the wind is relaxing, and then the sky is also clearing. So it was cloudy all day, but with the clearing, we're going to drop into the 20s, mainly upper 20s in most areas. You can see on the satellite radar shot the clearing from St. Louis westward. Still the Illinois counties, a little bit of cloud cover will widen out the shot. You see this area of low pressure that was basically just north of St. Louis earlier today has now moved to the east. So then that's helping us clear. So tomorrow's a beautiful day, plenty of sunshine and above average temperatures near 50. But the West Coast hammered by one storm. Here comes another one. There it is, and it's going to move in on Saturday. And then we widen out the shot even further west. Look at this one. That's expected by Monday. So the train of storms continues. Now for us, a piece of it is headed our way as we get into late tomorrow night. So tomorrow's Friday. So Friday night into Saturday, some shower activity expected. Rain chances definitely in the morning hours, especially south. And then we'll watch as we go into the late evening and look at some of this may change over to or mix with snow showers. We're not expecting it to be cold enough to be an issue. We'll watch it, but at this point, a chance of seeing a wintry mix in here on top of those rain showers and not a lot of precip. The totals probably under 1/4 of an inch expected. All right, 10-day forecast showing temperatures near 50 tomorrow. Enjoy that. Plenty of sunshine. Saturday, 46, light rain and watching for a mix late in the day or into the night. And then on Sunday, a morning shower, then clearing up, 43. Look at Monday, 52, Tuesday 50, 48 Wednesday, beautiful here, and a chance of showers again by Thursday. So all in all, it looks pretty good, but we'll watch Saturday night with that chance of seeing a few snow showers, especially north.
Not 70s in, but 50 on.
I will take it. Yes, above average is good.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Sports with Frank is next.
Mike, the St. Louis Blues are shocking the world. A local college basketball team is smoking hot, and we say goodbye to one of the greatest women I've ever known.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Chevy powerhouse.
I don't understand three things in the hockey world tonight. Number one, how Vladimir Tarasenko is the Blues' representative in the All-Star game. Two, how Jordan Binnington can have a mediocre save percentage but is actually playing great. And three, how in the heck have the Blues just beaten two of the best teams in the East back-to-back? Binner was wonderful from start to finish. Look at this glove save 7 minutes in. A little bit later, Pavel Buchnevich with a brilliant play, and it results in the 19th goal of the season for Jordan Kyrou. Brandon Saad has been on fire also. Third play, he makes it a 3-2 game. I wonder if there's just one Blues fan in New Jersey tonight. Just one. Yes, we found him right there. 7 minutes later, the Blues on the power play, where they've been quite good. And will you look at the skill level right there of Robert Thomas? That is amazing. His 10th goal of the season. That was the game winner. The Blues roll 5-3. Coach, talk to us, please.
Third period got hairy with the penalties. We got to be more disciplined than them penalties. We don't need to take those, but, we ended up giving up the one goal. But, all in all, Binner was great tonight. He was lights out, and, we battled, but we got to be better.
Brian Baroni, the Italian stallion in SIU Edwardsville, taking a 10-5 record in this national TV game against Tennessee State. DeMarco Minor hits the three. He had 18. Later, it's the Collinsville kid, Rayshawn Taylor, with a nice finish. SIU beats Tennessee State 81-75. They're now 11-5 on the season. The great Jahidi White, remember him at Whitfield tonight. His son is a freshman at Chaminade. The Warriors have a good-looking guard, Nolan Simons. Between the legs, crossover, and hold that follow-through. There we go. But the Red Devils are so well coached. Look at this ball movement. And Chaminade wins it 60-38. Here's a local high school player you need to know. His name is Amari Faluke, and he's averaging an area-high 33 points a game this season for Metro. They took on Crossroads tonight, gets the steal and the finish right there. And then just before half, he gets the ball in his hands. And look at that. That's why you're averaging 33 points a game. They win it tonight 52-20. He had 36. Hey, the Battlehawks have a schedule now. They will open up their XFL season on the road in 45 days on February 19th in San Antonio. The home opener will be on March 5th against the DC Defenders. They close the regular season with 3 straight home games. Be with us Sunday night for Sports Plus. We are going to celebrate our 30 years here for the next few months by going back in the vault for some of our favorite stories. This week, Steve Little, and we're also going to sit down soccer legend Alexi Lalas.
Bed Bath & Beyond warns it could go bankrupt, so you might want to use those 20% off coupons soon. The home goods retailer says it's running out of cash. It's having trouble filling shelves with merchandise and getting customers into its 950 stores and online to shop.
The Cardinals' winter warm-up is now a little more than a week away, and tomorrow morning at 10, a limited number of single-day tickets will go on sale on the Cardinals website. Some free autograph tickets will also be available. The fan event will take place January 14th through the 16th at Ballpark Village and Busch Stadium.
Tomorrow, Al Roker will make his much-anticipated return to NBC's Today Show. The 68-year-old weatherman has been off the air since mid-November due to medical issues. In just a few minutes, Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb will be guests on The Tonight Show. They are celebrating 5 years together as Today Show co-hosts.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That begins at 4 a.m. And have a great Friday.